gets on my nerves every single fucking day because, first of all, it just, like, you see people. It's weird. It just pops down. It doesn't even, like, fall down. It pops down. I'm gonna put some socks on so I can go to the gym. I haven't formally introduced myself. My name is Jxxalice, formerly known as the Equalizer. There's a whole bunch of people out here and I don't feel comfortable filming in front of people. Actually, fuck them. I do feel comfortable with it. Because who are they? A few videos ago, I mentioned that I sleep in my car. I never really explained. Oh my gosh, shut the fuck up. I don't know what this guy's name is. I think it's NLE Choppa. I'm not sure. No, it's either NLE Choppa or NBA Youngboy. I think it's NBA Youngboy, but honestly, all these rappers look the same to me. They like drew him as a clown, and I think it's so funny. I'm getting off topic. Basically, reason why I sleep in my car. I'm gonna start from the very, very beginning. So basically, I was the child in my family that was known as the black sheep, and I did not fit in at all. So I grew up being very different from the rest of my family. We all had different dads, and my dad was the only guy that my mom actually married, and he like caused the whole ruckus in between our family. Well, in our family, because he was very abusive because he was an alcoholic. And so he was like beating everyone left and right, and it was just a hot mess. But I was a little bit different than my brothers and sisters and my mom. Like, I even had a different last name than everybody else. And I was also treated very, very much differently also. My mom did not like my ass. She never hesitated to remind me that too. I'm not gonna even just go out on a limb and say that it was just my mom that didn't like me. I would say it would also be my siblings, aka my brother and my sister, and then my adopted sister, which surprisingly, it's funny because we have the same birthday, but she's like 7 years older than me. But she was adopted into our family like about 10 years ago. My mom has treated her like more of a daughter than she's ever treated me. And also, my sister treats her more like a sister than she treats me. I basically grew up with it being me against everyone else. And not just like my family, but it was really just me against the world. For some reason, I could never really put a meaning to why I was so different than everyone else until I found out that I have ADHD and autism too. And I also have PTSD and OCD. Senior year, my mom went on vacation, and at the time I did not have a job because I had to go to school and I was very behind on all my classes because I got into an incident with my father, which left me in the hospital for 5 days. Basically, he tried to kill me, and I think my mental health started deteriorating after that. I was arguing with my mom at home because my mom doesn't know how to raise children, and me and her butt heads on that because she doesn't know how to raise kids. And my sister will have to step in, even though she's not the mom, but my sister even knows she doesn't even know how to raise me. Ever since the incident, I did lose everything at the time. 2 jobs, because I was working 2 jobs in high school. I lost my job. My mom stole $600 from my bank account, and that was all of my money that I had left. And so I had no money, and I had no job. And then all of my friends with like quotation marks around it, decided to like turn their backs on me all of a sudden. I was just like, okay, that's weird. But yeah, it was just a really low point in my life, and I was behind on all my schoolwork because I would either skip school or I would sleep in the auditorium all school day because I did not have energy to do anything else. But eventually I had to start getting my shit together, which required me to not go to my other job. But I did have a credit card. My mom decided to leave the country, and she's done this before. Well, she'll leave the country and leave me with not enough money to sustain myself, or leave me with people who are very unreliable. My mom hid my credit card away from me, and so I decided to take my credit card back, and I got in trouble for taking my credit card back even though I needed it, or else I wouldn't be able to eat or go anywhere. But she got mad, and a week before my graduation she like kicked me out the house, and then after graduation she made me sign this contract saying that a year from now that I have to leave and I can't come back. And then so I was like, okay, that's fine, whatever, I'll sign the contract. A year passes by, I have this friend, and we were best friends for like 3 years, but when she first met me, I was like 220 pounds. Like slowly after that, I start losing like a lot of weight. And when I started losing a lot of weight, I started getting more attention than her when we went out in public. And she did not like that at all. And so she kind of started being, I wouldn't say bullying. I would say like, I would constantly be verbally assaulted by her and sabotaged. And she would just copy everything I do and insult everything I do, and then show up with whatever she insulted me with. Like she would do the same thing, and it would just not make any sense. And I even had her live with me in my room, like stay with me in my room, because her mom was beating on her, and I didn't, like, she asked to stay with me and I let her, and she was just very disrespectful the whole entire time. And I tried kicking her out, and she refused to leave. And every time I think back on it, I'm like, girl, I would have just, like, if it was me now, girl would have already gotten an automatic ass whooping, and she would have left already. Well, my pushover ass did not get her to leave. Let's go to 7-Eleven. But yeah, this girl would do stuff like, what would she do? Sorry, I'm like, what the fuck is this guy's problem? Anyways, so basically my best friend asked me like to move in with her because she's like, oh, we get along so well. I just want to be roommates with you because I can't live with anybody else. And I'm just like, no, I do not want to do that. She's like, please. And then my mom's like, well, you have to leave anyways, Tatia, you might as well. And I was just like, I felt really pressured to, so I gave in. And we moved in together, and we only lasted 3 months because the first 2 months we did not have any AC. First of all, nothing was working in our fucking apartment. Something was wrong with my toilet, and she gave me the shittier room. Like, my friend gave me the shittier room, and she had the nicer room, and so everything was working in her room, and nothing was working in my room. There was a hole in my floor. The toilet wasn't working. There was bugs everywhere, like cockroaches everywhere. Our dishwasher wasn't working, and it also had no rack in it, like no dishwashing rack in it. And what else? We had no AC, and this was Houston. This is like in the middle of the summer in Houston, which is like 110 degrees outside. And it was just very weird because our electric bill would be like $500 to $300. Like the first month, it was like $540. And then the next month, we were like, okay, we have to do something. Like, we have to see what's wrong with it and see what we could do to like let it go down a bit more. So the next month, we tried a little bit different. We tried something different with our AC. I don't know what we did. I don't remember what we did because I don't really care anymore. It was a year ago. But we lowered it down to like $320, but we still had no AC, so we were wondering why the electric bill was so high, and we were never there, so it made no sense. And I was just working 2 really shitty jobs that I was not happy with. She was just really rude to me all the time, and so I was dealing with a shitty roommate and dealing with a shitty job, well, 2 shitty jobs, and I was very lonely, and none of my family would call me or check up on me, and it was hot and I was literally dying. I was so miserable, and one day I made a vision board and I prayed to the vision board, and there was this voice inside my head that was like, okay, if this is what you want, you're gonna get it. And the next day, my water shuts off. Like 2 days later, my water shuts off completely while my roommate's out of town. And it shuts off for like 4 days. And basically, I had to shower at the gym and I had to brush my teeth at work. Like, okay, Trin, here's what we're gonna do. We can either find another place to stay, or I have a roommate for you. And so she was like, okay, send me the name and number of the new roommate. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So I send her the name and number of the new roommate, and she ends up going behind my back to the apartment complex and getting me kicked out. My mom wasn't gonna let me back into the house, and nor did she help me. Did anybody help me when I got kicked out? They just told me that I had to remove all the furniture myself, which when I did, it was a miracle because 2 guys came and helped me. But basically, that's how I first started sleeping in my car. I found this girl that I worked with, and she was going through the same situation I did. And we ended up renting a hotel room out together for about 2 to 3 weeks. And then she ran off with this dude to Las Vegas. I tried doing Airbnb, and it worked for like about a month. And then, first of all, the host, they were very invasive and I hated it a lot. They were also very strict on the rules, and they weren't very easy to get along with. And then the third Airbnb I went to had literally, it looked like Bates Motel on crack. And there was no door handle, and the carpet was just like infested with something. It had to be infested with something. I don't know. I wasn't there long enough to find out. But that didn't work. And then one of my family members offered to stay with me, which was my uncle. And then he fell in love with me, so I had to leave. And then right before I stayed with my uncle, I lost my last job. And then so I was out of the job for like 3 months because I needed a break from all this burnout, because I was like working 2 jobs at a time. I stopped replying to my family after a while because they weren't really helping me out financially, which is what I needed most from them. And they were just like trying to give me emotional support, which it really wasn't emotional support, because they were just telling me how I needed to do a better job, which I feel like it wasn't my fault because I never wanted to be in this situation in the first place. But ever since I've been, I guess you could say houseless. I wouldn't say homeless because, again, home is where the heart is. Ever since I've been houseless, I've been on this spiritual healing journey. And my goodness, has it been the best time of my entire life. Fuck my family. Oh, and not only that, but when I tried cutting off my family the first time, they tried to come to Houston to come and get me because they were worried about me so much. But like, you guys weren't worried when I was first sleeping in my car, but ever since I stopped talking to you guys are all of a sudden worried about me. And my mom picked me up for Thanksgiving, and I stayed with her for about a month. And then we got into an argument because I accidentally gave her $90 more than I was supposed to. And so I asked for the $91 back, and she was trying to keep it. And we got into an argument about it because first of all, it was my money, and second of all, she does stuff like that. Like, she steals money from me, and she does like sneaky, stupid shit like that because her life is evolved around money. Like, that's all she cares about. All she cares about is money because she did finance in the military, and like, she grew up with this poor mindset. She's bringing that onto us too, even though she's not poor, and she likes to pretend she has no money, but she's always buying new clothes. She's getting things renovated all the time, and she's like, oh, I have no money, and I've literally seen her bank account, and she has money. But basically, me and my mom got into an argument over $90, and she called the cops on me twice, and I got escorted out the second time. I don't know how she thinks I'm ever gonna talk to her again after that. Like, that was actually like the last straw. My family sucks. And then when I told her about how her brother was trying to get with me, she was like, oh, it's okay. And I'm like, I'm telling you all this stuff he did to me and you don't care? Like, what's wrong with you? My family is definitely super fucked, and I will not be going back ever again. Even if it does mean sleeping in my car. Throughout the time I've been houseless, my mom has never really checked up on me. She would only be like, hey, this bill is due. I need 100 and something bucks for this. Knowing that I'm struggling and that I'm struggling to eat and that I'm starving, and she just doesn't care. And all she's asking is for money. She like checks up on me once a month. She's like, hey, how's it going? You owe me about $280 for your phone bill and for your car insurance. I would pay the car insurance. Like, even if I did get into an incident or whatever, there would still be no reason to pay the car insurance. So it's like, why the hell am I paying car insurance and you guys aren't even doing anything for me? And I'm starving, by the way. I was starving when I got the apartment in the first place. We were overpaying for something that wasn't working. And so I was like, you know what? Okay, maybe being in the car is better. And yeah, I've tried getting jobs again. My jobs don't really work out for long. And it's kind of hard having a regular job when you're neurodivergent because you get made fun of a lot and you get in trouble a lot because no one understands you. And it's not like I don't want to get a job. It's like, if I don't really need to get a job right now. Like, I'm looking for a job right now, but this whole just traveling the country every 5 seconds thing is way more fun. Like, just traveling the country and door dashing to like get what I need. And then like, if my car breaks down, usually I find a way to get my car fixed without getting a job. Except for this one time, I did get a job to get my car fixed. Yeah, I just had a lot of like bad experiences with jobs. And then like with the whole getting another apartment thing, I want to get another apartment, but this economy is absolutely ridiculous. And getting a roommate is just like, I don't really trust anybody. Like, after that whole incident with my other roommate, and then the one where I rented out the hotel room with the girl and she ran off to Las Vegas. Anyways, and then when I rented out the hotel room with the girl and she ran off to Las Vegas with that guy, it was just like, how can I trust anybody? Excuse me, is there a problem? Okay. Anyways, I hate being stared at. I think being stared at, I just hate it. I don't like it. I don't know if it's because I'm black or if it's because I'm bald, but I don't really give a shit. So August 8th, this year has marked a year since I've been houseless. And within that year, I've reparented myself, matured 20 years, and I've learned more about empathy and compassion than usually people do in a whole entire lifetime. I have got to say, even though sleeping in my car is very uncomfortable, I'm trying to be quiet because there's a lot of rich people in here and I do not need any rich person knowing that I sleep in my car. They're like, oh, I paid $300 a month just to go to the same gym as a hobo? Absolutely not. I personally think that this spiritual and healing journey has been the best thing that has ever happened to me in my entire life. I knew that in order for me to live the life that I wanted to live, I'd have to be uncomfortable for a hot second. And so I made a deal with God. I was like, you know what, God, if it means that I have to suffer for a little bit just to get what I want in life, I'll suffer. I'll do all the suffering you want me to do. And trust me, he's put me through it. He's put me through hell and back. But I've turned out a way better person because of it. I'm really proud of all the growth I've done. And the fact that I did it all by myself and no medication, I did a very good job. I started posting YouTube videos because I wanted to take what I've learned from my healing journey and pass it on to others. Because I used to be like super depressed and wanting to like, you know, kill myself every 5 minutes. But ever since I lost everything, literally lost my house, lost my job, lost all my family members and friends, lost my hair. I have no fucking hair on my head. It took me losing everything to find myself again. And you know what? I haven't been this happy since I was 8. I'm actually gonna go out on a whim and say that I'm happier than I was when I was 8 because I wasn't living with a drunk psychopath who'd like strangling women every 5 seconds, aka my dad. But yeah, in a world like this, especially America, you really have to choose between happiness or financial stability, and I chose to be happy. I knew when I was in that shitty ass apartment with my shitty ass roommate that my mission in life was to be happy again. And you know what? I think I completed my mission. And it took me sleeping in my car to complete a task like that. It took me sleeping in my car to cure my depression. I thought I was hopeless. I thought I was gonna be miserable for the rest of my life. And all it took me was to fall in love with this dude that I worked with at Chick-fil-A, get played. Well, I don't know if I got played. I low-key got played a little bit. I'm gonna say I got my heart broken by this dude I worked with at Chick-fil-A. And it sent me into a spiritual awakening, and now I'm like doing Pilates at this extremely luxurious gym. And I'm like dunking myself in like cold plunges, and I'm fucking drinking more water than I've ever had in my entire life. I feel free. I feel happy. I actually give myself the love that my parents never gave me. I'm that type of person who it takes a really long time for me to actually learn things, but once I learn something and I know it, I'm obsessed with it. And I can never unlearn it, and I can never not know it. So all this stuff about spirituality and psychology, that's a part of me now. That's never gonna leave. Now, is it very comfortable sleeping in my vehicle? Absolutely not. The seatbelt, absolutely not. The seatbelt buckle stabs me in the ass every single night, and I wake up with like this indentation on my like butt cheek. It's kind of weird. It gets hot in there sometimes. It's only getting hot in here because my car broke down, so now I'm just sleeping in a broke down car. But when it's not broken down, it's pretty air conditioned and it's nice. But since it's broken down for right now, it's not very comfortable. I just need to get it fixed and everything will be fine. But see, the thing is, I can't sleep in my car forever. And I have been dying to sleep in a bed again. Like, I just want to wake up in a bed. And I don't want to have to like find restrooms every 5 seconds, because there's not like a lot of restrooms in my vicinity. Well, public restrooms in my vicinity. I want to be able to get up in the middle of the night and go pee without having to like find a water bottle to piss in or something. I miss having a home-cooked meal. I haven't had that in a hot second. I literally eat out every day. And not bad food. Sometimes it's bad, but like eating out and going to a restaurant every day or going to a fast food place every day, it can be a little exhausting. I'd rather cook. I would like to cook a grilled cheese sandwich or something. My grilled cheese sandwiches, I don't want anybody else to make it besides me. But I also like having to not belong anywhere. Like I could just get up and go whenever I want to. And I don't really have any bills to pay. I don't have rent to complain about. I don't have a leasing contract. And I've traveled the country and I've seen a lot of things. And it's been so fun. I'm gonna really miss this era of my life. I don't know when it's ending, when the era is ending, but I'm gonna, like, when this all is over, it's gonna be something I'm gonna really miss a lot. Am I gonna miss that indentation in my ass every single morning? No. I'm not gonna miss sleeping in the fetal position. I hate sleeping in the fetal position. Just working out, and then we're gonna go look at some furniture. And I think that's it. I think I'm just gonna go look at furniture and manifest a house or like an apartment, because that's what I'm manifesting currently. So I'm just going to go look at furniture and daydream about having a stable place to live. All right, we're at the furniture store. Uh-oh. Okay, so the first furniture store was not open, but this furniture store is. If they could see me now, that little gang of mine, I'm drinking fancy chow, I'm drinking fancy wine. I want the stubble chomps to see for a fact, that little top floor first rate chumps I